Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Ask a Reporter. Thanks for stopping by once again today. I'm Amelia, and this is Jack.
Amelia, what a beard you have on you.
Yes.
When did you grow that?
Oh, very, very quickly, it seems. No, all jokes aside, I'm Josh. Last minute replacement stepping in for Amelia today. Yes, what are we talking about today, Jack?
I don't know. I thought we were talking about you being Amelia.
Yeah, we're talking... That's in the news. Yes.
We're talking about burgers. Burgers.
Delicious burgers.
Delicious looking burgers.
Yes.
And also probably tasting.
Let's hope. Yeah.
But more specifically, we're looking at burgers, in particular at Burger King, which is the US's version of Hungry Jack's. Or our version of Hungry Jack's. I mean, they came up with it, so it's their version. And they're being sued in a civil class action suit, which just means a group of people, they're all suing Burger King because they reckon that the Whoppers that they get served are smaller than the ones advertised. So it's quite interesting. And I'm sure you've probably seen it, and people watching this have probably seen, food ads before, and you see the burgers or the chicken or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they're always so luscious and big. And
yes.
The lettuce and the tomatoes are always wet.
It's always very, very juicy, crisp.
Very fresh.
Yes.
Fresh. When you say crisp, it's like crisp and fresh together. Crisp. And then you get the food and you're like...
And it's just some squash thing.
It's not the same, but you still eat it.
Yeah.
And I've never thought, I'm going to go and sue Hungry Jack's. Hang on.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Maybe I don't have enough time on my hands.
It seems like something we should be, I guess, seeing a little bit more often, given how common of a thing that is for the food to look not as it did in the commercial, but...
Yeah, and it's actually quite common in the US. There are, I think, a couple of months ago, Taco Bell... which we do have here as well, Mexican food chain. Yeah.
Oh, we have Guzman and Gomez or something like that, don't we?
I feel like
that's is that our version of that? I don't know. Yeah,
they're more similar. But anyway, Taco Bell, Wendy's, which is another burger place. They've been sued for similar things, I believe. And there might be a question about Macca's coming up, but so I'll get to that later. But it is quite common, and it's not, as I said at the start, it's a class action suit. Is that the right term? But it's not one person. Like to wear. Yeah, a class action one. And so it's a group of people who, over time, they've all gone and got burgers, and they've all complained, and so they somehow got together and decided to sue.
Yeah. All right. Well, very, very interesting topic. Yeah. So I guess we'll jump into some of the questions.
Mouth-watering.
These mouth-watering questions we've got here. So let's start off with a question from Florence from Canberra Girls Grammar School. Hello, Florence. Hey. Thanks for tuning in. And Florence is asking, why do people always choose fast food all the time? Why don't they just make what is good for them? Please pick me. Or I think she means maybe she means why don't they just buy what is good for them? Or why don't the chains make what's best for people?
Yeah, why don't they make...
Yeah, I think maybe she probably means...
why don't they make food?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't order fast food all the time, do you?
Not terribly often.
I mean, there are some people who do, and I guess it's probably, when it comes down to it, it's convenience, so it's very easy to just go to a fast food restaurant and get your food, get your taco. It's also possibly cheaper, although cost of living these days isn't really. But yeah, it's cheaper and it's easier, and so I guess that's why a lot of people do
And I guess it's always, those like indulgence foods as well. You never really see fast food places that are giving out, or at least that have like salad as their main item. I know you can get that. From,
you can
like,
get a salad.
You can get salad at these places, but it's not like their main.
No, you
thing.
think it's usually like for the burgers.
It'll be
and
like
chips.
chicken or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Got another question here from Natalie from Kurrajong State School, Townsville.
Oh,
hello, Natalie. Townsville.
How's the humidity?
And she's asking, did the American win the case against Burger King? Was it one? It wasn't one person? Or was
it was a group, and
group
it hasn't. So I don't believe it's actually gone to trial yet. It's I also believe, if my timeline is correct, that they actually sued last year, and so the update is at the moment is that. Hungry Jack's, Burger King, sorry, they sued Burger King, and then Burger King tried to dismiss it, so they were like, no, you can't sue us, what are you, silly? That's a silly reason to sue us. They didn't say that word for word, but then a judge has said, oh, no, they're allowed to sue you, and you're going to have to go to court, and you're going to have to go to trial. And
is that usually how these things go?
I guess you could, if someone tries to sue you, I don't know too much about the law or the law in the US, but I guess you can question it, I guess, or you could counter sue, which means you then sue them back.
Oh, yeah. Those are interesting when that happens.
Yeah. I'm getting a message coming through telepathically, and it says, a judge has to decide if it's okay to go to trial. So, so they will sue them, and then it's up to a judge to go up, like Judge Jackie, very legitimate judge, and then decides that this is something that they can be sued over, and let's go to trial.
I liked your role play, by the way, in the story. Very, very fun.
An excuse to do terrible American accents.
Yeah, and also another excuse to put eyes and a mouth on an inanimate object of some kind.
Always
I noticed
that's
a trend in your stories. I've seen it with ice cubes,
that was
burgers.
Like the most subtle thing in the story.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've
just picked up on that.
I love talking to things.
All right, let's do. Bit concerned for you after that comment. So we've got another question from Lockie from Scotch College.
Lockie.
And he's asking, has
Scotch College? So I was trying to do like a Scottish accent.
He's asking, has Macca's ever done this before? So that's probably
the
question you were talking about.
Burger King.
Or I guess they're probably talking about, has McDonald's ever done false advertising and then been sued for that?
Look, I'm not here to call out Macca's for false advertising. They have been sued though. I think there was a case last year where it was something sort of similar, that they were sued for not presenting food that looks exactly like it is in the ads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that here or was that
in the US?
In the US.
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Another question from Danica from Cherrybrook Primary School in Sydney. Danica, thank you for tuning in, Danica. Danica is asking, how do they make it look appetizing? And I think you've talked a little bit about this in the story, haven't you?
Yeah. And so we actually, and I interviewed someone who works in advertisement and is also related to one of our graphics artists.
Oh, yes.
Who has his headphones on.
Samuel.
Stand up and wave.
Yep, there he is. Yep.
So, Marcus in the story is actually his brother, and he's worked on ads that have food stylists who come along and pretty much make the food look beautiful and presentable. And he talked a bit about some of the tricks that they do, like they use fake ice instead of real ice. So
I've always found that very interesting.
Yeah, because otherwise it looks too cloudy. Real ice actually looks quite cloudy. He also said that they use glue instead of milk in cereal, which is really weird to think about. He also told me, and I don't think this was in the story, that soups, they will put like a bit of like a card or like a
Is that
almost like a table that then they pour the soup over,
Yeah.
and then they can put things on that sort of table that's in the bowl,
right?
So that
all the
garnishes
veggies are
will
like
sit on
floating
the
at the top
yes.
and stuff. Yeah.
But he also said that, you know, a lot of the time it's not that they're making like fake food. They're not making a fake burger out of things that aren't edible at all. But they'll actually just be they'll be able to pick from like the best things. So they'll have all the ingredients and they pick the best looking ingredients to go on that burger, say. And they'll also do things like they'll spray lettuce and tomato with water, so it looks like it's been freshly picked and it's just been washed and sliced for you. He also said that they'll just have it, if like for a burger patty or any sort of meat or something, they'll actually paint on oil. So it's really like shiny.
Do they paint on like the grill marks and stuff like that?
He didn't say that, but I think for the most part they're probably real. They could be fake, though.
I do worry for the people who then have to eat the food in those commercials.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't be giving somebody glue cereal to eat.
He assured me that, well, the commercials he's worked on, no one's had to eat food that wasn't food.
Yeah.
But I guess in like instances like the cereal, it's like they're not trying to sell the milk necessarily. They just want that. It's easier to sell the product that isn't going to sink into the milk.
Yeah.
So to put it on top and make it look really delicious.
Yeah. That's good. I think don't they use like shaving cream for like whipped cream and stuff? I think I've heard of stuff like that. Yeah. No, I've always found that very interesting.
I feel like there's also like something about glue and pizza to make it look really like
to get like stretchy,
to get the cheese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It's really I kind of want to go and be a food stylist.
Yeah,
just so I can learn.
That would be. That would be really interesting. All right, got another question here from Hania. I think that's how you pronounce your name, from Epping Heights Public School. Hello, Hania.
Hello.
And they're asking, is it possible to stop the food advertising that focuses on kids, and how? Please pick me. It's my first time.
Oh, well, congratulations.
There we go. Congratulations.
Some people have been asking questions for years and will never pick them. Well,
we
not on
set out
purpose.
to not pick them. No.
What was the question? How do we stop?
Is it possible to stop the food advertising that focuses on kids, and how?
Well, there's actually a lot of guidelines around not being able to advertise to kids here in Australia anyway. So there are particular foods that you can't, and a lot of the time it's like fast foods or unhealthy foods, you can't target kids in those commercials. So it can't look like you're trying to sell them to kids. And I think I used the example, which was a recent one, which was Guzman and Gomez. And it was a soft serve, and it said a soft serve your mum would be okay with, or something along that. It was basically, alluding to the fact that kids like eating soft serves, so do adults. But that this one is kids. This is the one that your mum's going to approve of. And so they got a warning and got said that, that this is inappropriate and it's being targeted to kids. They actually said that they didn't think it was, but they removed the ads anyway. There's and I think there's also been things about the way you put advertisements, and there's some people who have gotten upset or have complained because there'll be junk food ads on buses that are then used as school buses, and they think that that's not appropriate because it's kids are going to be on that and going to be looking at those ads, because ads are everywhere.
Yeah.
There might even be an ad in this.
There could be.
Probably just for the next episode of BTN.
There's like a little window popping up right now. You have to click off that's got some type of ad in it at the bottom.
No.
No.
For BTN Newsbreak, make sure you tune in tonight and watch BTN Newsbreak. That's our ad.
That's the best we can get in the way of ads.
Yeah. And there's also we always do stories about junk food ads and kids, don't we?
Oh, it is a very frequent.
Yeah, I think there's a few politicians who, at the end of last year, were really trying to crack down on that.
Yes. Just recently, I think I did a story on it for BTN Classroom. We were talking about the bill that got introduced recently, the junk food advertising bill of some kind. So there is a lot of push for it, and there's even I think it's like the ACCC going after people on TikTok for, advertising and things like that as well.
Yeah.
So
it's quite complicated because it's not, like I said, advertisements are everywhere. And like that's social media influencers, they are also essentially just ads. That's more or less. True. So there's also, how do you make sure that they're advertising things that are appropriate? Because how do you know who's actually watching
and
those
that you
videos?
know what's an advertisement and what's not. That's another thing.
I know also that I think it's a thing. I feel like I did a story quite a few years ago, but they can't use cartoon characters in junk food advertisements because that's another way to appeal to younger people is to use a cartoon character.
Right. How long has that been a thing? Because I feel like I've seen commercials somewhere of that before.
It could have been a thing where they were trying to stop it and maybe they haven't been able to do it yet. Or it could have been a thing
I feel like
over in the
maybe
UK.
what I've seen would have been like some really retro thing like from the 80s or the 90s.
I was going to say, when
maybe
I grew
it was
up,
like
there were lots of cartoons advertising fast food and junk food and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, wow. All right, we've got another question here from, let's go with this question from Sophie from Our Lady Help of Christian School.
We're regulars. Hello.
And Sophie is asking, sorry if you guys have already answered this in the report, but why don't fast food companies put at least a bit of effort into making their food as close as they can as it looks in the commercials?
Wow.
That is a really good question, and I'm not sure it's a question anybody could definitively answer.
No, I don't know. Yeah. Can I say though, I have a friend who in high school, or maybe it was just after we left high school, he went and worked at a fast food chain. I don't know what it was Subway, and he was really proud of the fact that he presented his subs and would do them, try and do the perfect sub every time. So it did look like the ones in the ads.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's the first time I've heard of somebody really trying.
Yeah, I think he took a lot of pride in his ability to make
I don't blame them.
Sub.
I would have gone to that Subway to watch that happen.
The point of that story is I think it comes down to the person and the people working at that particular chain. I think it's going to depend on the way the food looks and the way it's presented is the people preparing them. But at the same time, the food you see on ads, like I said, they're the best bits. They're made to look really desirable and appealing. They're not not the food you're going to get, if that makes sense, but they're just a more beautiful version of
I guess you're always getting the ingredients.
You're always going to get the ingredients, but you're also getting food that's been wrapped up, put into a thing, given to you, it's
frozen and reheated, maybe, in some places.
So it's never going to be exactly like it was in the picture. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But you just need to find a good, reliable employee who makes the perfect sub every single time.
Okay, so we've got another question from also from Our Lady Help of Christian School, Emma. Why does it matter what it looks like? If it's edible, it doesn't need to be sued.
There you go. I mean, that's a very good point. I guess because people feel maybe it's something to do with the cost of living. So prices are going up slightly. So they're going, hey, if you're going to charge us for this, then we want to do it. But yeah, I think there are some people who will go into and Marcus, actually, the advertising guru, he actually said, that he reckons most people go to these places and they know they're not going to get exactly what they see on the menu board. That they're going to get a version that is a little bit different. So I agree. There are some people who are going to be okay and with the food that they get, and there are going to be others who feel like they're not getting what they advertised.
Yeah, I guess it just all comes down to a matter of preference.
Yeah, and in the case of the Burger King thing, I don't think it was necessarily that the food wasn't edible. It was also the fact that they felt like the food, that what they were getting was significantly smaller than what was advertised, and so that was
I guess that matters quite a bit when it's a Whopper
Yeah,
advertising
exactly.
some
And when you
thing.
see a burger and it's like a lot of they were saying that the burger advertised was sort of overflowing with ingredients and that it looked really big, and then they had photos of what they were actually getting, and it was almost like you had to like lift up the bun to see where the ingredients were rather than them just overflowing and being very present. So in that instance, they were saying that it was misleading because they were getting smaller products than what they had paid for. But
Okay. Yeah. Got
it's very
another.
complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It kind of makes me want a burger.
It's very very debate worthy and worthy of having a debate while you're eating a burger.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
We've got another question here from Alexis at Bishop Druitt College. I think I'm saying that correctly. Hello, Alexis.
Hello.
They are asking, when did Burger King release their first burger?
Oh,
do you know?
Yeah, I do. 1953. Ooh. I wrote it down on this post-it. Is when Burger King
Post-it
opened.
of knowledge.
And then 1957 was when they released their Whopper.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were around for a little while before they started.
Yeah, like what is that? 5 years?
Yeah.
4 years. And also, fun fact, because we call, like I mentioned at the start, we call Burger King Hungry Jacks. And that is because when they wanted to open Burger King here.
Oh, yeah, wasn't there another place
there was already a place called
yes.
Burger King in Adelaide, so they had to change the name to Hungry Jack's.
Wow.
Which,
It wasn't the guy who started it, his name was Jack?
Yes.
Like
but,
you?
Yes, it was me.
Maybe it's your business.
It was my father,
Yeah.
my great-great-grandfather. No.
Also named Jack.
Well, actually, it wasn't because of that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because Burger King gave them a bunch of names that they already had trademarked that they knew they would be able to use. And one of them was Hungry Jack, which was for a pancake mix, like flapjacks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then they decided to make it Jack's because, I don't know, it just
sounds a bit more personal, doesn't it?
Yeah, more possessive. Yeah. And then I guess,
okay.
you know what? He probably chose it because his name was Jack.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say, I always thought it was because his name was Jack.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably a mix of the two.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I'm
what
sure he would
Wikipedia
have.
will
I'm
tell
sure
you.
he would have felt more inclined to lean in the Jack direction. All right. Well, I'm sort of out of questions here. I guess maybe we can
go get a burger.
Yeah. Celebrate the end of the program with a nice, delicious, juicy burger that hopefully matches what you've seen in the commercials.
If you make a burger at home,
yes,
then the only thing you're competing
shortcut.
with is the image in your mind.
But the mind can still be pretty powerful in itself.
But you're not going to sue your mind.
I don't think you
just
should
be angry with
underestimate
yourself for a bit.
That's the new Judge Jackie case. All right, well, let's bang out a few shout-outs then, shall we?
Sure.
I think we'll do that. We're going to do the greetings as well for each of these.
We'll do something.
We'll
see what happens.
All right, let's give a shout-out to Oxford Falls Grammar in New South Wales.
Hello.
Let's give a shout-out to Telopea Park School.
Telopea Park.
Telopea Park?
That's
Park? Is that nice? Where is that?
Word to say.
I've never heard of Telopea
100
Park.
years as well.
But yeah, what is that? 100-year anniversary? I don't know. Let's do.
Sorry, sidetracked.
Let's do. Give a shout out to Carringbar North Public School.
Hello.
Let's give a shout out to Yucca Future Learning.
Yucca.
Let's do Orange Grove Primary School.
Hello.
Bayanami Public School.
Bayanami.
Ripley Valley State School.
Oh, you guys rip.
I hope that's a good thing.
Yes.
And to finish, let's do Canley Vale Public School.
Canley Vale. How you doing?
Lovely. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today for a very nice discussion about junk food advertising.
Nice afternoon chat.
Yes. Oh, and forgot to mention, this is the last Ask a Reporter for the term.
For the term.
No. Yeah.
Is it really?
It is, yes.
Oh, yes,
so
because we've only got one more
we've
episode.
only got one more episode of BTN Classroom this term, but I think we've got to, we'll be back before you know it. And so we'll catch you. Thank you for this honour for having me as host this time.
Amelia.
Thank you for joining me, Jack.
Have a good holiday break, everyone.
Have a good
I mean, it's still a little bit off, but have a good weekend.
Enough.
That's closer.
Yeah. Have a good weekend and then holidays.
Yeah. But then what? But watch BTN next week.
Yeah.
And then go
then come back and watch Newsbreak during the holiday.
And you can tell us all about what you did on the holidays.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys. See ya.
Bye.